Color theory has always been a buzzword around art, with thousands of people online calling it out and complimenting it, but lots of people don't actually know what it is. If that sounds like you, then you're in luck, because I'm going to show you how to do things like this. We're going to be breaking down the basics of using color theory with oil pastels, all from an easy, self-taught artist perspective without all of the crazy fluff that just makes it confusing. So make sure to hit subscribe because we're also teaming up to give away 2 of these all-you-need oil pastel kits. So what is color theory? Honestly, that's like asking, what is art? It's a super broad question, but color theory is essentially a guide that frameworks how you use colors, how to mix them, and what people experience when looking at it. At the foundation is the color wheel. It's the rainbow circle you've probably seen but haven't really thought of. By using this wheel, you can figure out a bunch of the color theory concepts. To make it simple, we're using this 12 color one. That's the one we're going to use the entire time, and we're going to break down how it's made. As I said, it looks like a rainbow, but when you break it down, it starts with the primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. From these 3 colors, every color can be made. I recently did a challenge trying to see what I could draw only using red, blue, and yellow. And honestly, you can get a lot of shades that you didn't think. It's all about layering, and it's all about knowing color theory. When you mix the colors next to each other, you can fill in the rest of the color wheel. Red mixed with blue creates purple. This is one of the secondary colors. Secondary colors are those which are made just from the primaries. So red and yellow makes orange, and yellow and blue makes green. Purple, orange, and green are all secondary colors. To fill in the rest of the wheel, mix the secondary colors with the primaries. Keep in mind that when working with oil pastels, it will get on your hands. Now, while you look at the wheel, there's almost 2 different sides. There's the bright side, the red, yellow, and orange, and there's the cooler, darker side, the green, blue, and purple. These 2 sides are known as the warm colors and the cool colors. Think of the warm colors as fire, as bright as energy, and then think of the cool colors as calm, as zen, and, toned down. Looking at the color wheel can help you find pairings. There are complementary colors, which are across from each other and have high contrast, but there's also analogous colors. Those are the ones next to each other and they're more similar. First, let's dive into the complementary colors. These colors have a lot of intensity and they're opposite on the color wheel. So the pairings would be red and green, blue and orange, and yellow and purple. As you can see, they are not similar to each other. If you tried to just blend it, it would seem a little awkward. But when layered or combined, they can actually neutralize each other and create darker shades. This is also depending on how much of each color you use. For this, if I'm doing equal amounts red and green, then you get a lot duller of a shade. Same with the blue and orange. Both of these pairings seem dull, but they're definitely darker in some sense. If you adjust how much color you use, for example, less green, then you can create a darker red color with a little more dimension. Same with red. If you limit it to a small back layer and then color over in green, you can create a darker gradient. This again works for blue and orange and for yellow and purple. In each of these instances, although it does neutralize the other color, it ends up creating a darker shade. This way, it's a little different from just using, let's say, a dark blue or just a dark orange. Sticking with those colors would create less dimension and less contrast. Let's see it in action. If I'm coloring a lemon, which is yellow, I can color the shadows using purple instead of dark yellow. As I color on top of it and blend, the purple becomes a darker shade of yellow and adds a lot more contrast. Again, as you're coloring, you don't just need it to be the bottom layer. You can always color back over on top if you want it darker, or add more yellow if you want it lighter. But this is just one type of relationship. The other is analogous pairings. These are colors next to each other on the color wheel, and they're more similar. Think of the cool colors being one set and warm colors being another. Analogous colors are usually 3 to 5 colors, but to simplify, if you want pairings, this could be red and purple, red and orange, orange and yellow, yellow, blue, and green, and blue and purple. Essentially, any of the colors next to each other can work well together. These are also colors that do not stand out against each other. They're meant to have a similar aura or a similar vibe or just similar color. As with the other relationship, you can layer analogous colors to create darker shades. As you see, rather than just the dullness of the neutralizing colors, the red and purple layered on top and all of these others layered together create a similar shade, but they're a lot more vibrant. This is because they end up brightening rather than neutralizing. When coloring green, I like to use blue to darken and yellow to brighten. This gradient works just as well, but it's a lot different from only using red for the shadows. Another example of this is if I'm coloring a tree. Truthfully, I started looking at the color wheel as equations and solutions, but you can pretty much color anything, like a brightened tree trunk, simply through layering. For the leaves, I'm also going to use the dark blue, then the green, then the yellow. Once you start blending, honestly, it creates the dimension itself. However, unfortunately, I did end up coloring it the wrong way in terms of light. It did not match the tree trunk. So luckily, with oil pastels, you can easily change your mind. So, I just flipped it over, colored the yellow on top of the blue, blue on top of the yellow. Again, they're similar colors, so it's not really gonna mess it up. But it's important to keep in mind when you're drawing. Make sure your lighting matches. Now that we've covered the basics, it's time to talk about the giveaway. As an oil pastel lover, I teamed up with Meeden to give 2 of you your very own oil pastel kits. All you have to do to enter is subscribe, like the video, and comment your favorite thing to draw. I love these. I would trade my whole family for these. I would trade all the food in the world. I would trade my life for these. This kit has all of the basics, and I'm super excited since these are the tools I use every day. Now, these oil pastels are soft. That basically means that it's creamy and you can get a lot of texture. So I want to show you swatching all 72 of these beautiful colors. Because of how smooth they are, you can also create your own colors. You can add more texture by using a palette knife or just mixing the colors together. But overall, you can get just as much texture simply by drawing. I love the wide range of colors and how bright the pigment is. You can see that the color that it looks is the exact color it draws. It comes with everything a beginner could need, with lots of blue, which is honestly my favorite part because I go through those all the time. Now, along with black and white, it also has a very deep green and very deep blues, and those are perfect for shading and mimicking the darkness of black while creating more depth without actually using it. Beyond this set, Meeden has a bunch of other products and lots more options on their site, so check out the link in the description to discover more. Plus, you can get 12% off any purchase by using the coupon code PIPERCHAOS. You can also use this knowledge, the complementary colors and the analogous colors, and combine them. Let's try it using a red apple. We'll start with the same base layer of red in the same spot for all 4 of them. First, we're going to use just light and dark reds. It ends up having some dimension and it looks very vibrant, but there isn't much contrast or shadows as you continue layering. And although it looks good, in my opinion, it's a little flat for me. Next, we'll use red's complementary color green for shading. I'll add a layer to the darkest areas following the same pattern as the first apple. Then, I'll color over in dark and light reds. Already, you can see a difference in the darkness from the first one. It has greater contrast and greater dimension, but it's not as vibrant in the shadows. You can also add some highlights in white, and I'll go back to add it to the first one so it's a fair comparison. For the analogous coloring, start with purple as a layer in the shadows, and then color over in dark and light red. This apple has greater dimension than the first one, just as the complementary apple did, but it's a lot more vibrant than just using green. You can see that I go back and I add more purple to add even more darkness, just because I felt it was a little too flat. Again, you can always blend it with oil pastels, they don't dry. So if you don't use a fixing spray, then you're just able to smooth it and blend it anytime. Today, tomorrow, next week, it all works. For the last apple, we'll do a mix. This is normally how I color. I use a mix of Analogous and Complementary, but I'll start out by using a base of green and of purple. This way you get some of the vibrancy that purple brings, but more of the darkness that green brings. You'll still follow the same pattern. You color over in dark and light red, add some white for highlights, and blend. So here you have 4 red apples, but they all look different because we colored in different ways. I really like the vibrancy of just using red, but it doesn't really have dimension. Again, this depends on what you want your art to look like. There's nothing wrong with just using red, there's nothing wrong with just using green. It really depends how you want your art to feel. Earlier in the video, I was blending with my finger, but right now I'm blending with something else. This is one of the blending tools, the ones I said I would trade my family for. They are foam tipped blending stumps, and I absolutely recommend them. If you don't have them, you can also use again your finger or a Q-tip, but the blending tool is definitely the best if you're going for detail and large area. Now, if you want to clean it, all you have to do is take it to a scratch sheet of paper. I always have one next to me because you got to clean off the oil pastels and the blender. If you just rub it down a bunch of times, then boom, it's clean. Same with oil pastels. If you have other colors on it, all you have to do is just draw it off and there you go. If you've been paying attention, I haven't mentioned black at all. That's because artists try not to use black when you're shading. Honestly, you can create the other colors, but black just comes off as flat, overpowering, and sometimes it just feels less lively, feels dull. So we're gonna test out using no black and adding shadows and shades through other more accessible colors. To draw a match on fire, the stick is a lighter brown, a wooden color, but I actually end up using light purple and dark purple and blue. It sounds weird, but as I color, you can see how combination changes and how it doesn't actually look out of place. Like I used dark green for the match tip. On the outside of the flame, we're using blue and purple and orange, but when you're blending, it actually looks really good together. Same for the outside. I'm using a dark brown more because I wanted to save my black, but as you do that, you can blend it into the outside of the flame so it becomes more glowing. The last bit to touch on is about value, which is how light or dark a color is. Within value is tint, which is how much white there is, and there's shade, which is how much black there is. The more white you add, the higher the tint and the less saturated the color is. The more black you add, the darker it becomes. Think of saturation as the color being the color it is. If things are added like white or black, it's less of the original color and it can be duller. So here I'm gonna add some of the orange that neutralizes it, and honestly, it's duller. My last tip and the important tip is watch the pressure that you use because you can make nubs. And let me tell you, trying to color with this small of an oil pastel, oh my gosh, this is not helpful. But now you have an understanding of color theory and can create masterpieces. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments how your art turns out. See you next time.